How do you finance an industrial revolution? That may sound like a strange question to ask about artificial intelligence. Some of the companies leading the AI boom are among the wealthiest corporations in the world. But building the infrastructure underneath AI is becoming extraordinarily expensive. And a new move from Nvidia suggests the financial system itself may be starting to adapt. On August 10th, Nvidia announced partnerships with Apollo, BlackRock, Blackstone, Brookfield, Goldman Sachs, and KKR. Together, they plan to establish financing platforms intended to mobilize more than $500 billion of third-party capital for AI compute infrastructure over time. That does not mean Nvidia raised $500 billion. And it does not mean those institutions have already committed that amount. The goal is to connect enormous pools of outside capital with companies that need chips, data centers, and other AI infrastructure. Nvidia describes the ambition in particularly interesting terms. It wants to help establish AI compute infrastructure as an investable asset class. Underneath that language is a very old economic problem. Building productive capacity requires capital. Factories have to be constructed, machines purchased, power plants financed, and now enormous data centers have to be filled with expensive computing equipment. Economists call the broader process of turning financial resources into productive assets capital formation. Financial institutions can pool money from pension funds, insurers, asset managers, and other investors, evaluate risk, and direct that capital toward companies that need it. That is one of the basic functions of financial intermediation. And AI is hardly the first transformative technology to encounter this problem. In the 19th century, railroads were enormously expensive to build before they could become enormously useful. Land had to be acquired, track laid, bridges and stations constructed, locomotives purchased. Much of that investment happened before passengers and freight could generate the system's eventual revenue. Railroad expansion therefore required pools of capital larger than individual entrepreneurs or many local banks could comfortably provide. Bond and equity markets increasingly connected railroad companies with investors across the United States and Europe. Finance didn't invent the railroad, but financial markets helped make railroad-scale construction possible. History also provides a warning. The same financial machinery that made productive investment easier could make speculative investment easier too. Railroad companies borrowed heavily, and investors financed projects partly on expectations of future growth. When some of those expectations proved too optimistic, railroad securities could collapse. Problems surrounding railroad investment helped contribute to financial crises, including the Panic of 1873. That gives us an important distinction. Making capital easier to obtain can accelerate productive investment. It doesn't guarantee that the investment will be productive. And AI infrastructure introduces another complication. Think about traditional infrastructure. A power plant might operate for decades. A building may retain substantial value long after its construction loan is repaid. Computer chips can be different. A processor doesn't have to stop working to lose economic value. It simply has to become sufficiently less efficient than the hardware replacing it. That matters if AI compute increasingly becomes collateral for large amounts of financing. How long will the hardware remain economically competitive? What will it be worth several years from now? And who absorbs the loss if those assumptions prove wrong? Finance doesn't eliminate risk. It redistributes it. That's what makes Nvidia's announcement more interesting than another enormous AI investment number. Nvidia is helping create financial structures that could make enormous amounts of computing infrastructure easier for customers to finance. If those structures work, AI companies may build more capacity without financing every dollar themselves. Investors gain access to another potentially productive asset. And Nvidia potentially gains customers capable of buying more technology. But the historical lesson still applies. A financial system capable of mobilizing enormous amounts of capital can help build transformative infrastructure. It can also finance too much infrastructure when expectations run ahead of economic reality. On Monday, we looked at companies seeking greater control over strategic computing infrastructure. On Wednesday, we looked at dedicated electricity infrastructure emerging around enormous concentrations of AI demand. Now, the financial system itself may be adapting to the scale of what companies want to build. That's capital formation at work. When a new technology requires investment beyond what individual companies can comfortably finance themselves, financial markets have an incentive to mobilize larger pools of outside capital. The technology may be new. The economic problem isn't. Railroads faced their version more than a century ago. Artificial intelligence may now be facing its own. The important question is what gets built when enormous amounts of capital become easier to access. Do you think Wall Street financing will help AI infrastructure grow more efficiently, or make it easier to build too much, too quickly? Let us know what you think below. If this breakdown was useful, hit like and subscribe to Synthetic Politics. We'll be back when there's more to report.